Jim Hansen, former U.S. Army Special Forces, and the chief strategist for the Middle East Forum. Jim, how confident are you that the U.S. could pull off some sort of uranium extraction under enemy fire? We can absolutely do it, and I think I want to tell all the IRGC leadership now who's watching this show that don't doubt President Trump has the resolve to make that call. And I mean, at some level, I have a wish to see. I want the choppers coming in, hitting the beach, blaring Ride of the Valkyrie, Ghost of Robert Duvall in the lead helicopter, and the discombobulator blazing their way to knock everybody out of the way. The problem is from the beach to the places we have to go is almost 500 miles, and that's a heck of a logistical nightmare. It's not quite as simple. It could be done, and we have the capabilities and the people to do it. But I think everyone should be cognizant that's a heavy lift. It is, and you don't want to trivialize it, like I'll go and take the uranium, but what kind of close air support, consistent close air support, would an operation like that require deep inside Iranian airspace? Yeah, I would be less worried that they would send like a reaction force to try and, okay, we go, we surround it, we drop the 82nd in, they surround the compound, the SEALs, Delta, whoever, the Rangers, everybody go in and start searching the compound. But they're not going to send a force to try and fight that because they know we have air supremacy. We'll kill anybody who comes. But they can send drone swarms and all of that. And what those guys won't have a lot of is air defense. So that's the big weakness, is it's hard to defend against a bunch of drones. And we might have to try and find a way to bring in some air defense with them to keep it clear long enough to actually do what needs to be done, find that stuff, get it on a bird and get out of there. So is there risk for fallout? I'm not a nuclear physicist, but if the Iranians just start, I don't know, just lobbing everything they have at these two remaining nuke sites, is that crazy town? Well, as Secretary Rubio said, this is an apocalyptic death cult. The 12er Shia Islam believes they need that Armageddon-like event to bring back their Mahdi and rule the world. So you can't say they won't do it. And if they somehow manage to hit or do that, you've got the equivalent of a dirty bomb. All our guys would be in deep trouble. But again, that's a nightmare scenario if it happens. Better case scenario is we get a tip. I need the Mossad or the CIA turn somebody or buy somebody, and they tell us exactly where it is, and maybe even bring it out for us. There's a lot of ways this could go. I think there are better ways in a raid, but no one should ever doubt that if it comes down to it, President Trump's going to get that job done. I think the raid, obviously, you're right, is the last option. What have you heard about the discombobulator? Because I hadn't heard anything that much detail since Halfron said it made everybody yak. There's a lot of directed energy weapons that we've had for a while, and we've tested them. There's some that can make you feel heat, There's sound waves that can make you just freak out and discombobulate you. What exactly they're using and what was used in Venezuela has not been publicly announced. It's just one of those things that we have that makes it a big advantage, because when you are going into a place where the enemy knows where you're coming, you don't want to lead with your face. That's a cardinal rule of door-kicking operations. You have something in front of you for that. So that's why you throw flashbangs in a room. This is a directed energy flashbang to blow everybody's mind and hopefully get our guys in and safely back out. Yeah, I learned that in boxing. Never lead with your face. The Iranian regime, what's left of it, do you think they are capable of withstanding another 2-week aerial pounding, or will it take some sort of lightning-fast ground operation on an island on the strait to really force their hand? I think leverage is needed. We've bombed so much that we either need to turn up the volume on what we're bombing, turn it to 11 on the targets, or to do something that causes them potentially more damage. Their economy is a shambles, and without the revenue they're getting from oil out of Carg Island, they're toast. So whether you go and seize it or whether you just blockade and say, any ship that tanks up at Carg Island, thank you for that, we'll take your oil, as President Trump mentioned. Any of those are going to put the pressure on them. And I think one of those things is going to be needed to push them over the edge. And you see the next couple weeks as being basically the fourth quarter. Yeah, we're coming to the end, yeah. And President Trump said we're going to do 4 to 6 weeks. We have done, our target list is down into smaller, we're heading 3 digits now. We're left on the target list. And they're ready to go ahead and move to the next step, which is finishing off, opening up the Strait of Hormuz to traffic, taking care of the uranium, and then figuring out who is going to be in charge to hopefully lead Iran to a more prosperous future. All right, Jim, great to talk to you as always. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.